Hello and welcome to the first night turn of Compass Games Tinian the Forgotten Battle by Ross Mortel. This is the second last turn of the scenario. Thought we'd start with the dispatch points and see how we go with them. So we have, for the Americans, we have 4 dispatch points available. We actually have 5 for the Navy, which is something else, but only 1 for the Army, which I think is far more critical. For the Navy, we might as well spend those points, I think. So 2 points to put in the Japanese Navy activation marker into the chit cup. One thing we don't put in is the air support, naval support and amphibious movement chits. Just going to remove those. That's them. So those come out and they won't come back for the scenario. So we put that army. So the army chit, we need to use that 1 point, I think, desperately. Should it be the blue brigade or regiment or the red one? I think we need to do the blue one because we need to preserve their units. Their units are actually in the border zone, the O1 line. Sorry, D1 line, I think it is, or something. So yeah, it needs to be the blues, which is the second regiment. That goes in. For the Americans, I think our standard 2 points for the division. So division marker goes back in. Right, now we roll for the dispatch point. So looking for a 0 to 1 for the Navy. A 9, they just get 1 point. Looking for a 0, 1 or 2 for the Army. They get 3 points. Great. And finally the Americans on 0 to 4 get a 4. So that gives us another 3 points, takes us up to 5. So quite a few dispatch points here. Also there's dispatch points that maybe the Navy could spend during the turn, because it doesn't have a lot of units. Right, anyway, so that's the dispatch. There's no reinforcements to do, and so we can move to the board and the action phase. Right, here we are at the action phase. So I'm wondering if we should jump in with any dispatch points here. What have we got? Well, anybody could do it, really. The Americans could bring in, say, the 25th Regimental Combat Team. They have the initiatives. They have the first option. The Navy could bring in the Naval Guard Force for a few more artillery strikes. They're going to kind of suffer with the night because visibility is difficult. And then there's, of course, there's the Army, where we could bring in the first as well. I think the Americans will. Yeah, I think they will spend the dispatch points. Yeah, 2 points to bring in the 25th Regimental Combat Team to come straight in here. So let's look at these guys here. This is all these chaps here, and so we really need to clear out what's going on here. Yeah, pretty difficult, really. First thing we can do is our leader, and the leader is, I think, sitting under here. somewhere. There he is. I could probably think he's probably fine where he is, or maybe I should move him, because we're not going to get a very good combat from that unit at all, are we? So I think we'll move him out to here. And support weapons, we don't have any available. We have 3 that are reallocating, so the HMG and 2 flamethrowers will become available next turn, but we don't have any to place, and I don't think we want to detach any, do we? Although if we detach them now, they won't be coming back for the scenario, so I don't think so. We got our remaining flamethrower up here. I think it's useful. Okay, and prepared assaults. Are we going to do any prepared assaults? So the prepared assault will happen next turn. I think it might be an idea. Yeah, I'm not sure we have enough people to do a decent assault there. Yeah, no, I won't do that. And finally, we get to deploy or change into column. And I think everybody, he's in column. And I think I'll keep him in column actually. Right. So we're on to the action phase. Now, it's a night turn. Night turn means that there is a maximum visibility of 1 hex. All the fire ratings are dropped by 2 for the Navy and the Americans, and only 1 for the Japanese Army. The Japanese player may perform infiltration, so they can try and move past American units, and also massed banzai charges or gyokuzai can be triggered during the night. One thing with the visibility is the Americans only, I believe, or actually I think it might. Yeah, anybody can fire an illumination round, and to fire an illumination round, you do a fire with a unit, and you target a hex within 8 hexes. You roll a dice. If you roll a 9, nothing happens. Otherwise, you place an illumination marker in the target hex, and that hex can now be seen. It's subject to LOS, of course. Okay. If you are just firing adjacent and you don't use an illumination round, you will suffer penalties anyway. However, if you have an illuminated hex, you won't suffer those penalties. It is quite useful, but it does use up a fire to do that. So I think the first thing we do with the 24th RCT is work out who's going to place some illumination rounds, and I think probably the best people to do it would be the mortar units, 3 mortar units here. So we're going to try and put them into the 3 important hexes here, and then we'll see if we can see if they will actually land. So with the dice here, we can just check to see how it goes. So if we check for this this hex here, anything but a 9, 6 is fine. This hex here, that's an 8, which is fine. And finally, the last one over there is a 1, which is fine. So all those get illumination rounds. We also might want to, I'm not sure it's worth illuminating that yet, although we might as well, because that engineer isn't going to do very much. So yeah, we'll roll to illuminate that as well. And we rolled a 7, so all those are illuminated now. Okay, we've completed that. Slight change. I couldn't put an illumination around here. You need an indirect fire unit. So a direct fire unit can't provide illumination rounds. So we've just got these three here. Right, now I think we'll do a little bit of rallying. So this unit certainly. There we go. And I think as we are rallying, I will deploy that unit rather than moving. We will also under here, I think we will reduce the disorganisation level here, or actually I think what might happen is we might put in a foxhole instead. Find some foxholes. Oh yes. Yeah, I think we'll put them in a foxhole instead of rallying. Yeah. Okay. These guys over here, they're suppressed, so I will remove the suppression. And from that point on, we're on firing, aren't we? So we'll fire across here for -1 for the sugar cane, and also I believe it's -2 for night. Yeah, 2 for night. So only 1 for the Japanese firing, but 2 for the American. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's 1 on small arms. That's a 3, which is a miss. Here we will fire the unit here. So that's 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with night. So we'll do that. That's a 7, it's a miss. Here, much worth it, is we'll fire into here with the flamethrower. So that's 4, 5, 6 high explosive. And this will be -1 for the sugarcane, -1 for the deployed defence, -2, and then -2 for night. So that's down to 2. Get a 7, that's a miss. And finally this one here, which will fire into here, which is 4, 5 with a light anti-tank, which will make it high explosives. So 5 minus, again I think it's going to be, yeah, -4 all around, so it's only a 1. We do roll a 1, so that's cool. Yeah, so 1 on high explosives is a DGR star. Oh, I just thought actually that's not the -2, is it? Because we've got an illumination round. Got that wrong. Didn't affect this fire because that was a 7 anyway, but that would have worked on a 3 actually. Okay. Yeah, so DGR star, so second disorganized result, and then also the a route check of a 1 is fine. Okay. I think that's probably it for our for 25th RCT. I think we'll then pull another. Do we want to provide any direct commands? I think we're fairly low, aren't we? We're on direct commands. Do we want to do anything more? No, I don't think so. I think that will be fine. So let's pull a chit now. And we get direct command. Okay, American direct command. So that's a dice halved +5. That's 3 halves. 1 + 5 is 6. 6 direct commands. Okay, so I think best thing to do is to use our artillery first. Certainly the long range will, I think, go here. Shorter range I think is fine. Can go there. And where else? Well, I suppose here. Now, as far as the nighttime goes, I'm not sure there is actually a nighttime modifier for indirect fire. It does say all fire values, which means this, which doesn't have an illumination round on it, would be subject to -2. So it's 4. I think it's going to be quite tiny actually as a combat. In fact, I don't think we'll bother firing him at all. We'll have the direct command back. Thanks very much. Yeah, only these two are really worth it. So this one is 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, so yeah, foxholes, sugarcane, defence value comes down to a 2. It's only a medium barrage, so we can fire this. So it's a heavy barrage. So on a 2 indirect fire, a 7 is a miss, but that does upgrade to a heavy barrage. And over here we have 6. It's getting a little difficult. We do have foxholes there, so it will be the -4 again, I think. No, sorry, -3. Foxhole, sugarcane, defence value. So that will be down to 3 from 6. So on the 3 indirect, we get a 0, which is indirect is DGS. So we'll get a suppression marker, which is very useful. That's quite a dangerous hex, and an extra DG. So they're on 2. Leader doesn't really help on this. There's no roll, and of course that's a heavy barrage now, and an illuminating round. Right, okay, so that's those direct commands. Do we want any other direct commands given? We could order some mortars to put in some more illuminating rounds. That might be good. Oh, that prepared assault marker should have gone actually. And well, I think I might activate the 2 units here. 1, 2. One of which will rally. to remove the disorganised, and the other unit will move into here with the leader. I think that's useful. That's it, I think. Yeah. Direct commands down to 9. That's a fair stock. We've pretty got all of this line suppressed here, so I don't think we need to do anything more. Yeah, that's all. Okay, so next chit to come out is the Americans, the 4th Marines. Okay, so let's check out what we want to do with our leaders here. I think we keep our leader with the flamethrower here. I think we will certainly not move that leader, but we will deploy this. We do actually have the 24th RCTHQ here. What we will do is move that leader across to here, I think. Now, interesting about that is we can actually assign support weapons to the 24th now, which is very useful. We will flip that mortar unit over. Probably the same with that engineer. There's no point in making him a target. And we shall move the 25th, I think. Yeah, get them all off the beach. We'll keep the HQ on the beach because nothing else is coming in. Keep it deployed. And okay, so support weapons. We have a lot to give out now because the flamethrowers can now be reallocated, which is great. So we'll need that up here. This guy's got an anti-tank gun. So a flamethrower here, and a flamethrower here. Whoops. With all the markers, it starts to get a little bit tall, some of these hexes. Yeah, so a flamethrower here as well. Great. And we also have an HMG, which I think we'll put back over here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, I think that should do. But we do have some 24th, so we'll have a flamethrower here. And an HMG, which I think we'll assign just behind there. Oh, actually, that should have 2 units in that hex. Not 1. I don't think I placed that correctly. Sorry, that should be here, shouldn't it? Well, very fiddly. Becoming very, very fiddly with these towers of markers. That may be an indication, certainly in playing the game. Okay, support weapons done. Declared assaults. So I think we are going to declare an assault, prepared assault here. I think we should declare an assault here as well. for next turn. And maybe we can get the 24 RCT to do that. I think we might move these guys out of the way to get, no, maybe not. They could add in as well. Good. I think we've done everything but do actions. So going to go through that. What I might do is I might just do the actions and then report back what we got, because there's going to be quite a lot here. So yeah, I'll do that, and we'll report back. Okay, we've done that. We got a big change here. This combat here, 2 units plus a flamethrower. Needed a 6, got a 6, and that wiped out that construction battalion unit there completely. So the prepared assault markers unnecessary. We did get a result here which pinned this this unit here with a couple of DGs from light anti-tank gun. We rallied here. Firing here had no effect. Firing in here I don't think had any effect. No, and around here there was no particular effect. We did some big fire combats here into here with absolutely no effect. They were quite high, but we rolled very high. And yeah, we've reorganised here, so the 23rd here is well set to do the assault if necessary next turn. Well, it will be necessary. And we just moved the mortar unit out to give stacking space here. And yeah, that's it really. So we're back to direct commands, whether we want to spend any more, and I think I will. I think I will, because it would be really nice to occupy that space. However, I haven't really got anybody who's in column other than the 23rd. And yeah, we can't, I'm saving him for being in command down here, so and he won't get there anyway, so it's a pity you can't do that. I might do some more firing over here. Certainly these 3 hexes. I might just rally that guy, so he's more useful, well, starting to be more useful. And then activate these 2, so that's 3 points there to do that. So we've got a 4-5 high explosive into here, which is -2 sugarcane and defense value. So it's down to a 3. We get a 0. So a 0. He's pinned. He will be suppressed now. So that's a big estate. And a 0 is 2 GG. So they're on level 4 now. Bit precarious for them. Suppressed and level 4 disorganisation, and illuminated is tricky. And in fact, what I might do is then fire from here. Oh no, we didn't. We only activated this guy. That guy was rallied, so nothing we can do. Over here, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4 here into that hex. A 9. So we've just broken our flamethrower again. Brilliant. And no effect. And that's our direct commands. Again, we've got a unit, well, stacking. Well, very fiddly. Difficult to stack all these counters together when you've got a lot of status markers on them. So that's the Marine Division done, and so we're on to the other chits. First one is the Blues. Okay, that'll be very welcome. So these guys, I suspect all we can do is leave them as is, remove the suppression and hope he lasts. Here, remove the suppression as well. And well, I think we need to reduce that as well. So I don't want to really do anything more with them. They're being very useful where they are, or certainly those two stacks are. And how are we doing on direct commands here? We have a couple more, so I might do a couple of more rallies with those. So bring that down to level 3. And here, bring that back down to level 1. I'd really like these to hang on if we can. And they're doing a decent job about hanging on, really, under sort of withering American fire. Okay, so that's that shit. So let's pick another one. And it is event. Okay, here's the lottery. A 7. A 7 is Japanese infiltration. Immediately move 2 stacks or 3 at night. Okay. Okay, so it just allows a unit to move from one hex adjacent to an American unit to another without being fired upon. How useful is that? I'm not sure very, given that we've got everybody we can up in the front line here. So maybe we could move this unit out here, try and get into here if possible. Fire infiltration. I think that's all really. What we could do is try and infiltrate this unit into this hex, because that hex is not in the boundary. That's something we could do. Give it a little bit more beef. And we have 2 units here, in fact, we can do this with. However, what that will do is that will make that hex level 4 disorganisation, so I don't really want to do that either. Okay, we'll scrub that idea. Okay, that's the event. And next, we can we do the wind, so that will get rid of the barrages and the illumination rounds, actually, interestingly enough. So all these can go, and that's all. I'm amazed actually throughout the game with all this flamethrower combat, we haven't rolled a 2 or less with a flamethrower to actually light up a hex and get a fire going. Quite surprising, really. We've broken a lot of the flamethrowers by rolling 9s, but no 0, 1s and 2s. Okay, that's that done. We have 2 chits left, and we can end up with the Imperial Navy activation. Okay. Right. What are we going to do here? So, we could illuminate these hexes here, and maybe call down artillery. So yeah, that's probably a good idea here. So oh, that should be now in move mode, shouldn't it? We will infiltrate again with this guy, because infiltration happens anyway with movement for Japanese at night. The event was just some extra movement if you wanted. We will fire our weakest artillery unit, possibly that guy there. Push an illumination round here, and then we will use this artillery with the spotting there to then put the mockers on it. So 5, 4, 4, and I think 5. Do we have move made units here? Yes, but there are deployed units, so it's 4, 5. It's just a 5, and because there's an illumination round, there's no modifier for night. That's a 6, so it's a fail. However, we do get the heavy barrage, which will be useful. Okay. Use those 2 units, move that. We could... I'm not sure there's a lot of these that these guys can do, unless we illuminate somebody. No, I think we'll just stick those guys as is, really. There's really nothing for them to do. We could get lucky, I suppose, but all we're going to do is really pin a unit. I'm not sure there's really anything to do. No, so that's the Navy. Direct commands. We could have some more direct commands here. I think I will. One direct command here will put this guy here on infiltration. Very sneaky. And we can't use direct commands for the artillery. We could, this is not covered, so we could put illumination around here, but to what effect I don't know. Well, I mean, it's something to do with that artillery unit, so we will illuminate that hex for the Japanese. For another direct command. They do have quite a few. We're down to 5 now, so they have a few. Okay, so we've got the last chit, which is the direct command chit for the Japanese. So we will roll, and for the Navy, half a dice plus 1. We've got 1, so we only get 1 back. And for the Navy, that's 8 hold is 4. 4 plus 2, 6. Right, so I think the first thing we will want to do is to remove all these suppressed markers here. I'm going to use 3 points for that. Can certainly get rid of that. I'm going to do another one which is going to rally this unit, sorry, and as these have been activated, we are finally going to turn them over. We could have done that one before, but these guys will be deployed. Makes them a bit tougher to get. And any other direct commands here? Is it worth firing these guys? well, we only get a -1 as a Japanese from the dark, so why not? So we have 4 +1, 5 with the battery gun, 6 with the leader, -1, 5, -1 for the knight is 4, -1 for the sugarcane is 3, so 3 on this hex here. Yeah, so a 3, it's a 4, it's a failure. I think that's all I'm prepared to do this turn. So what I'm thinking of doing is particularly this line here, getting a mass banzai charge going next turn to see if we can get these units in, because they're not worth anything outside the boundary, but they are for victory points inside, and this is apparently what historically happened. But anyway, oh, we do have, oh no, that's all our action chits. I'm just putting back the standard ones for next turn, and yeah, let's make these all available, and yeah, with just a bit of tidy up, we're on to the last turn, which will be night 2, which I think will be a bit of a struggle there. The Japanese are on 3 points, so at the moment, with 2 units in, they would be on 5 points. I don't think that's quite a victory. That's a minor American victory. Yeah, they need 7 points. So they either need to kill American units, which the mass banzai charge might do, or they need to get more units in, which again the mass banzai charge might do. Yeah, it's yeah, we'll see what happens next turn. So for now, thanks for watching.